if we both believe LeBron will be back next season, what do you think the Lakers need to do to get this team past the Denver Nuggets and whoever else might stand in their way in the West to get back to the NBA Finals? Kyrie Irving, former LeBron teammate, was at the game last night. So was Trae Young. So do you think the Lakers should just run it back as they are or go out there and make a big move?
No, I think you got to tweak it as much as possible. You need more shooting. That's one of the things. You can never have enough of that.
Right.
And you saw that in the series, especially with LeBron. He did not shoot it well from outside whatsoever. And so you need even more shooting for that squad. And this is the thing, man, is you can tell that's not a coincidence that you have those heavy hitters like you just mentioned at the game. They're just willy-nilly strolling around. I'll just go check out the Lakers game. You know, certainly Kyrie is angling. He is on the market and available.
So you don't hate the idea of Kyrie reunited with LeBron in L.A.?
I don't hate it, but it's not like I would be doing somersaults as a Laker fan saying this is the move to push us over the top. You know what I mean? Like, it's somewhere in between there where I could see them making a move like that. D'Angelo Russell was just awful in the series against Denver.
D'Lo has to go. I'm sorry. Like, look, if he had played well in these playoffs, I'd be all for bringing him back at a much cheaper rate than Kyrie Irving. But he's proven time and time again he's mediocre or inconsistent in the postseason. So I can't count on him. I'm trying to win a championship. I'm not trying to be good. I'm not trying to just get to the conference finals, as LeBron said last night. I'm trying to win a title. D'Lo's not my point guard. All right? Now, the idea of Kyrie back in L.A., or back with LeBron, I should say, I do like him playing with LeBron because he's shown over the last few years that he would like a reunion. He played his best, at least was on his best behavior, if you will, when LeBron was there because of LeBron's leadership. I think Kyrie would, I don't think the distractions that have not ruined his career, but certainly sidetracked his career over the past several seasons, I don't think those are there if he's playing with LeBron James and also Anthony Davis. Here's the thing, though. If I'm the Lakers, two guys outside of AD and LeBron that I definitely want back, Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura.
Yeah.
Those two are coming back. And I like to keep Jared Vanderbilt as well. That being the case, the Lakers should not tear it all down just to offer Kyrie Irving a max contract. And then you got to fill the roster around those three, LeBron, AD, and Kyrie, with a bunch of veteran minimum players.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. And Kyrie might not like it. And if that's the case, peace, Kyrie. We'll try to do it without you. But I would clear about $30 million, roughly. Keep Austin Reeves. Keep Hachimura. Try to keep Vanderbilt if possible for his defense. Love to keep Schroeder too. I'm sorry, Dennis Schroeder. And if Kyrie's willing to take that type of pay cut, now he can start at $47 million with the Mavericks. That's his max offer, and then you can put it out for several years. So if he'll take a deal starting around $30 million, maybe 3 years or whatever, then I'm all for bringing in Kyrie. If not, then I'm going to tweak. So you'll put tweak. I like what they have. Reeves should improve. Hachimura should improve. Vanderbilt, these guys can improve. And with chemistry developed over playing together for a long season, I think the Lakers can be very good next year with what they have plus some minor tweaks. I'd love to get Kyrie, but if I can't, so be it.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. And that's one of the things is you got to look at fit. Not every player fits the same way with multiple teams. If you look at Russell Westbrook with the Lakers, he's a horrible fit there. Doesn't mean he can't fit anywhere. Right. But he's not going to be a guy to just, hey, play off ball and shoot open shots from the outside. That's not his game. But if you look at it with Kyrie Irving, where he was at Dallas, he's putting up numbers. But defensively, what do they have there?
And you see, they don't have the defense to protect them. With AD, LeBron still to some degree, Jared Vanderbilt, Austin Reeves. Like Schroeder's a very good defender. Hachimura's solid. Like, they would have the defense to protect Kyrie. And what was the problem against Denver? I mean, Denver clearly was just a better team, but also they closed. These games were close for the most part. The difference was that Denver, even without Jokic scoring a lot, remember a couple of those fourth quarters, he had 0 points, 3 points. They had shooters that they knew could get them a bucket. The Lakers didn't, and that's not a slight on LeBron, because here's the deal. For LeBron to get me that bucket late for the most part, he's got to drive.
Yeah.
He's got to go to the hole. They didn't have a guy that if he can't get to the rim like a Jamal Murray, wasn't getting to the rim, a guy that was such a good shooter, mid-range, 3, that they could count on him. That's what Kyrie is. Kyrie is a closer. AD is sometimey. LeBron is obviously great and can close games, but has to really drive because his J isn't consistent. And so that's why I like Kyrie there. But we got Ephraim Salaam joining us now. He's a former football player, as you know, Brian. But he fancies himself an NBA commentator. So we'll get into some of this with him.
What's happening, man?
You all right? I'm glad to hear some spark in your voice, because I was worried, man. Because last time you were on the show last week, it was all Laker this, Laker that.
I'm a Laker
we
fan.
hang banners, all this purple and gold talk.
Do.
What you got to say now?
Look, man, I was very critical on my show on Saturday or Sunday about LeBron James and how I feel coming down the stretch of the first 2 games, he had a large part to play in that loss. I wanted to see this LeBron that we saw yesterday at the beginning of the series, right? We don't need to save for the end, right? We need that type of energy, and I get it. He's 38, but if we're not going to judge him on his play at 38, we're judging his play. Okay, you average 28 points a game during the regular season. That's fine. I don't care if you're 38 or 58 or 18. It is what it is. So you got to bring that same energy and that same leadership and decision-making into these games. And we didn't see that in the first 3 games. We saw it yesterday. It was a little bit too late. But
let me ask you this about that, because obviously, as you said, he had 31 in the first half and then just 9 in the second half, 3 in the fourth quarter. Do you think it was a baffling performance because it was phenomenal in the first half. Do you think he just ran out of gas, or sometimes, as LeBron does, kind of inexplicably, just didn't go to the hole?
Well, what happens is when you're used to playing with a duo, a dynamic guy, right? It's a switch-off thing, all right? I was killing in the first. I'm going to get you going. We never got to get going from the other guy. Okay? We never got to get going from the other guy because at halftime, I'm like, yo, look, I'm going to lean on you, okay? Let's go. Let's make it. Everybody chest bumping and high-fiving. Right. We got this. And then you come out and you don't get the payoff, right? You don't. Right. That's how a dynamic duo works. Look at Kobe and Shaq. Shaq dominates the game down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Kobe Bryant was an assassin. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Anytime Kyrie and LeBron. Right, so when you don't get that extra, when you're not on the same page, you go out and you perform like you perform, then you want your guy to have 30 points in the second half, right? And you didn't. If you don't get that, it's not going to happen, man.
Big man,
I love against a team like Denver.
I love that you are 6'8" and your theme music is too short. That is that's beautiful,
whistle,
right
baby.
That's beautiful. Do you buy this BS that LeBron's going to retire, at least thinking about it?
LeBron has made it adamant, crystal clear for the last 3 years that he plans on playing with his son. How is that possible if he plans on retiring? All right, emotions are high. LeBron James is smart. He's media savvy. It's very rare that you catch him in a moment where he doesn't know what he's saying or what's going on. So, to deflect away from being swept, right? Deflect away from that conversation of how you going to be the GOAT if you do this. Why not throw something out there? And that's what we're talking about. You're not asking me, what does this sweep do to LeBron's legacy? Yep. You're asking me, right? We're falling for it. You're asking me, do you buy that he's going to retire? What if he, Hey, man, I get it. It's brilliant. LeBron
you
James
on the same page as Brian? No, did y'all compare notes before the show or something?
No. But you know what? I've been with Brian for like 5 years. We've had 5 years of me crushing him to where he's now.
I thought there was going to be a compliment right there. What was I thinking?
That's what you call a backhanded compliment. Brian knows excellent because I have brought him along. No. He is good.
All right, Ephraim, so let me ask you this. You said LeBron, will be back. You brought up Bronny, and obviously he's been pushing that narrative for a few years now. I have said this. LeBron obviously has been a terrific father, and we love that. I would like him to stop, and maybe this is a stop, what he said last night, pushing that narrative of playing with Bronny. First of all, it'd be great if they're in the NBA together. But if I'm Bronny, now this is me talking. Maybe this isn't how Bronny feels. I love you, Dad. You my man. You my hero. I'm not really trying to play in the NBA with you. I mean, I got to establish my own identity. I don't want my teammates. I don't want, saying I'm only on the team because of Dad. I'm only playing because of Dad. I want to go out and kick it with the younger cats after the game. You want to go out to, eat it at Outback or whatever. No. So do you I just don't think the typical teenager is going to want to play with their dad, especially when you're trying to establish your own identity. You feel me on that?
I don't, because you got to look at it like this. Bronny relates to his dad. This is not the LeBron. This is not the LeBron James where he listening to jazz and he not cool and right. This is the dad who's cool. I was just hanging out with my nephew who's 21. I was like, bro, I relate to you. Right? I didn't relate to my parents in terms of musically because hip-hop wasn't around when they were growing up. Right? I grew up, I like the same hip-hop you like some of the times. You wear the same shoes that I wear. Right? So you have that. Look what LeBron James has done for Bronny. Right? With the NIL deals, with the training, to getting him have these leaps and bounds in training in his abilities. Right? That doesn't happen because this Bronny James. It's happened because he has the wherewithal and he has the access to train, to eat right, to do all of these things and steadily get better. That's all you can want. To play in the league 1 year with your pops, and your pops is one of the coolest people on the planet, why wouldn't you want to do that? He got plenty of time. And LeBron James made a statement, which I don't disagree with last week. I believe he was like, Bronny James is better than a bunch of dudes in the NBA right now. From the standpoint of his abilities and his willing to work and get better. You got
he didn't say that though.
In the NBA.
You threw that little last bit on.
But you got to read between the lines though. You got to look at. It's a lot of dudes in the NBA. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? I'm like, what happened to the love of the game? What happened to getting better? If you don't have a jump shot,
I give you that the Miami Heat are exposing exactly what you're talking about because that team. Look, all credit to them, but they got heart, they got toughness, they got grit, they got great coaching. And they look like they're on their way to the finals. Last thing from me, do you want Kyrie? If you're the Lakers, should they go out and try to get Kyrie?
No, I don't think so. I don't think you need to eat up that type of cap space. I like what the Lakers did. What they did at the trade deadline got them to the second-best team in the Western Conference when they were a dumpster fire. So why are we trying to rewrite the wheel? You need one or two extra pieces, but the core of that length and that defense, you need another big to really come in with some size. I love that. I hate that we lost Thomas Bryant, right? Still don't know why Dwight Howard's playing in Taiwan. Sure could have used him this series.
Right.
But you need another big that can come in and be that force, be that enforcer. I like JaVale McGee when he was with us, that type of thing. But they don't need to go out and get him. They don't need another superstar. They don't need another 28, 29-point game player. That's just too much. You don't need that.
Hey, big man, real fast, you're perfect to ask this as a former pro athlete. There's a theory floating around out there that, hey, maybe LeBron, he retires for 1 year and then he unretires the next year and teams up with Bronny. What would he be asking his body to do if that was actually the case?
Oh, you can't turn off the lights, man. Ask Jordan, ask anybody at that age to try to come back after that. Once you turn that light switch off, once you get to a certain age, it is very hard to turn that thing back on at that level. When you stop training and playing like that, that's why guys, when they sit out for or come back from injury or sit out for longer periods of time, you're like, oh, wow, what's he lost a little step? It takes so long. At that age, senior citizens age in terms of professional sports, bruh, nah. LeBron's great, but he's not that great. I can promise you that.
All right, that is our man, Ephraim Salaam. He is that great, and that's why we had him on the show. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.